Very soon we're going to be coming to the longest of the 3 tunnels we're doing today, Preston Brook. Doesn't look that much these days, but it used to be one of the northwest's busiest inland ports, and it used to get the narrowboats going up and down the Trent Mersey, and they were taking salt, coal, pottery, and they would, as you could imagine, working hard, taking all the things, and coming up to the Anderton boat lift. And I hope I've still got it. I went to the Ellesmere Port National, Boat Museum, and I got some videos of a very, very famous type boat called a Mersey Flat. Now there's only one left in existence, and that's why I did the video. Now Mersey Flats, this is where people, you have to have a little thought pattern here. People who know about canals think the Bridgewater was the first industrial canal. Well, it wasn't, and nowadays people are recognising that. It was the Sankey Canal, and that was built a good few years before the Bridgewater. And the Mersey Flats, these huge 70-foot by 14-foot boats, which also had a sail, what was let down when they went under any obstructions or bridges, used to go up into they used to only use estuaries, but through an act of Parliament and a little bit of secrecy, canals were built on the Sankey, St Helens, Warrington, Widnes, and it's still a lot of it's still in water as well. And the Mersey Flats used to go up there, and they were huge. And at one time they were pulled by men before horses used to do it. And you've got to remember, when the Mersey Flats were there, engines did not exist. But it was incredible, and that was in the 1750s, that. And it's just fascinating. So fingers crossed I find that picture or that little video. Funny with boats sometimes, like last night we was roasting hot in the boat, and yet the boat behind us in the boatman's cabin put their fire on which it must have been in meltdown. And it's the same now, somebody else has just lit the fire, and I think, or we both think, it's far too warm. But yes, people use fires in a variety of ways. But that one thing I can't stand, or both of us can't, is being too hot. That's for certain. Well, that looks an extremely nice little setup there. Wanting for nothing, I would imagine. Very nice indeed. For a minute there, I thought they were authentic mushroom vents. As we're going along, you'll see all the bushes and things like that on the left hand side, on the towpath side, and below there on the other side is the River Weaver, which runs along very close to well, not close, but runs in the valley further down, and that's why you needed the Anderton boat lift to lift you up. The cargoes or boats today have to be lifted up to get to this level. So there's another little snippet for you. These are very nice moorings, a good view as well, absolutely gorgeous. We stopped here a few times over the years. This is also where we had down this end is where they had the Dutton Breach, which actually made the news. But nice mooring spots now. That just to the right now, as we just come into the Dutton stop lock, is an unusual dry dock. It was built when the North Staffordshire Railway Company owned this canal for a time, and it was built in a way that looked like the railways. It was designed, it's not like the conventional dry dock. Quite an historic place, that is. This stop lock was built by the Trent Mersey Canal Company to protect their water from running into the Bridgewater. But there's something which I'll tell you shortly. There's something quite unusual about the Trent Mersey and the Bridgewater, and I don't think I know of any other canals where it happens like what I'll show you in, or what I'll tell you as we start to go through the tunnel. The other thing, unbelievably, the Trent Mersey boats, narrowboats, still traded on here until the 1970s. So it wasn't that long ago. It's amazing when you think about that. Well, we've made it with minutes to spare to get through the Preston Brook Tunnel. So we've not done too bad today. We've not been queuing for any significant time. We've done quite well with these three tunnels. Preston Brook, 3,733 feet, or 1,138 metres. Significantly the longer of the three. I only knew the metres then because I saw it on the sign. I could only remember it in yards before. Now, I was talking earlier, I said something unusual happens between the Trent Mersey and the Bridgewater. Well, believe it or not, it changes over to the Bridgewater Canal inside this tunnel. So we go in on the Trent Mersey, and when we come out on the other end, we're on the Bridgewater. One thing about the Preston Brook Tunnel is it is longer, but it's certainly not got the twists and turns of the previous two. Hopefully with having the light on, you at the back of me, not just at the front, it's easy enough for me to see the front, but hopefully with having the one at the back, it's give you a better appreciation of inside the tunnel, or the tunnels. Actually just gone quite a bit smaller at the moment. It's closed in a bit. I've never really noticed that, but with having the light on the back I saw it happening. I do, yes. Yeah, it does smell years old, yeah. I've really enjoyed these three tunnels. Yeah. Yeah. Right, alright. She's always happy, Bernadette, when she can see the other end of the tunnel. I don't think she'd go into anywhere if you couldn't see the other end, because it's she's not a great fan, but certainly done a lot better than what I expected. She's probably chilled out a bit inside, done a bit of knitting, but she has said that she's done some filming, and I'm looking forward to see what it looks like at the front, because I've never filmed in a you know, in tunnels from the front, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So this is the last 5 minutes of the Preston Brook Tunnel. I've just been inside and I've done 2 rows of knitting on my hoodie. I'm not particularly fond of this tunnel, and I know how long it takes to get through by the second every time we do it. So So this is about the last 5 minutes now. Let's hope the sunshine at the end. I love it when that tunnel portal gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We're nearly over the border now. It's like going abroad. Coming out onto the Bridgewater Canal now. Ooh, drippy, drippy tunnels. Eee, right down my neck. Nobody waiting to go through either, that's unusual. Hooray!
That's Preston Brook well and truly done. All I can say now is welcome to the Bridgewater Canal, and we'll continue our little trip today and see where we end up. Well, if everything's gone to plan there, you should have had a good feeling of what it's like going through tunnels. We've done the 3 and never tried it before with all the lights and that, so it's fingers crossed it's worked, and if it has, I hope you've enjoyed watching it.